Hi everyone, my name is Madam Wati, and today I will be sharing with you some information before you make your decision on which elective for you to choose next year when you go to Sec 3. Now, the focus of my sharing today will be on literature elective, which is offered to the Sec 3 Express cohort. If you are a Sec 2 normal academic student and you are offered a Sec 3 Express cohort, do consider taking up literature elective as your humanities as well. Firstly, I would like to share with you the syllabus requirement of literature elective. If you decided to choose Lit elective as one of your humanities subject, then you will be taking paper 1, which consists of the prose as well as unseen poetry. Now for this, the paper is for 1 hour and 40 minutes, and it is 50% of your entire humanities subject. So the other 50% will come from your social studies paper, and another 50% is from Lit elective. For this paper, you will be answering only 2 questions that comes from 2 sections. So the first section, which is section A, will consist of prose. You will be given 3 questions for you to choose from, and you have to only answer 1 question. For section B, you will be on unseen poetry. There will be 2 unseen poems that are given to you, and again, you only have to choose 1 question to answer from. The weighting for each section is the same, 25% each. Now that I have shared with you what the syllabus requirement is, let me now share with you about the 2 texts that we will be using. First, for our prose, we have chosen for the school to study the classic Fahrenheit 451, which is written by Ray Bradbury. And then for our unseen poetry, we have this book titled Understanding Unseen Poetry. Now let me share with you in further details about each of these texts. For Fahrenheit 451, you will be studying about dystopian fiction or a dystopian society. Now what is a dystopian fiction? So think of the Hunger Games, the Maze Runner, and even the Avengers Civil War. What these 3 movies have in common with the text Fahrenheit 451 is that they mention about segments of society who go against an oppressive and authoritative government. So the questions that we will be asking ourselves as we delve deeper into this text Fahrenheit 451 will be, what constitutes an oppressive government? Why do society wants to go against such government? And whether the individuals of such a society are doing the right thing, and do they also create collateral damages along the way. Apart from those questions that we will be dealing with, we will also be delving into other issues such as the impact of technology on human lives, as well as the impact of the burning of books, which is inherent in the text Fahrenheit 451. When we study the Understanding Unseen Poetry text, we are delving deeper into understanding and inferring poem's story, identifying poem's theme, as well as evaluating the poem's unique style. Now, this is not very far from what you are currently learning at Sec 2. The differences are, firstly, you will be exposed to far greater literary devices than what you have been accustomed to in Sec 2, and you will also be analyzing more complex poems when you reach Sec 3. So now that I've shared with you the 2 texts that you will be using in Sec 3 and Sec 4, why then should you take literature? Now let me share with you 3 reasons why. Firstly would be the similarities between lower Sec literature and upper Sec literature. Now at lower Sec literature, we did explore the 5 areas of study, and they are plot, character, style, theme, as well as setting and atmosphere. You would have explored all these 5 areas of study when we did poetry as well as wonders at Sec 2. When you go to Sec 3, these 5 areas of studies would be reinforced further. So there is really nothing new. It is a reinforcement of whatever that you have already learned in Sec 2. Another thing that is similar between lower sec and upper sec literature is the rigor of writing a 25 marks essay response. At lower sec, we have already exposed you to 25 marks essay written response. So this is something that you would already be familiar with when you go to Sec 3. The second reason why I feel that you ought to consider taking literature elective at upper secondary is because of the complementary and reinforcing nature of both skills. In literature, the learning outcomes when you study lit at upper sec would be to develop a personal and critical response to text, as well as being able to construct effectively communicate arguments. Now, these skills would be very useful and handy when you also sit for your English lessons, where you are required to apply critical reading and also making judgment and evaluation of the text that you have with you. Another skill that is also common for lit would be the ability to demonstrate understanding of the 5 areas of study within text. For you to demonstrate those understanding, there is a need for you to develop a very coherent and logical argument, which again would prove to be very useful skills when you are writing your essay responses in an English lesson. The third reason why I feel that you must also consider lit as a possible elective for you is because of what you can do between now and then. Now, when you are studying literature, you are also developing yourself to become an ethical learner as you study the various poems and also the text, Fahrenheit 451. You are building empathy and creating global awareness of the world. You are also developing yourself to become an aesthetic learner who is able to appreciate and understand the beauty of language and to understand the nuances of language as part of the writer's craft. And last but not least, as a literature student, you will also develop yourself to be an intellectual learner who is able to provide and develop convincing arguments with sound reasoning as well as evidence. So what would this skill or how would these skills help you in order to pursue your desired courses in the tertiary education? As an ethical learner, these are some of the courses that would prove to be very useful as you develop your skills to be an empathetic and global learner. As an aesthetic learner who is able to understand the nuances of language and able to think creatively, these are some of the courses that will be very relevant for you. And last but not least, as an intellectual learner who is able to develop sound reasoning of arguments with logic and evidence, this would be the relevant courses in the various tertiary institutions for you to consider. I hope by now I would have convinced you enough and provided you with the relevant information for you to make a very wise decision on which humanities subject you would like to take up when you go to Sec 3. And again, I would like to emphasize that even though this subject is offered to the Sec 3 Express cohort, should you be a 2NA student who is offered a Sec 3 Express cohort next year, do consider literature elective as well, because the skills that you have been exposed to when you are in Sec 2 are as relevant as it would be to any Sec 2 Express students as well. Thank you.